Like then I move on to other shit, like I move on to Scream, and then like Jason and stuff like that. And like
Scream's not even a real horror movie.
like Jason,
because Scream's a parody of a horror movie.
Jason worried me when I was a kid because I went to summer camp as a kid.
Yeah.
And it worried the fuck out of me because I went to summer camp, and not only did I go to summer camp, I went to summer camp in the middle of the fucking woods, and it was the scariest motherfucking thing because I went there and
you went to summer camp in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
I did, and it scared me because there was a hermit that used to live in the woods.
Oh God!
And this motherfucker was a dick, and what he would do when the kids were sleeping at night, because he didn't like people in the woods, he would throw rocks at the dorms we were staying at, the little cabins. He would throw fucking rocks at the cabins, and I would be the only one who would fucking wake up and hear this shit. I thought I was paranoid, and so I'd wake up and I'd be like, "What is hitting the fucking thing?" And I would look out the window, and there's nothing there. I would go outside, and there's nothing there, and I'd go back in, and I'd go to sleep, and I'd hear the hitting again. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" And so I wake up my counselor. I'm like, "Dude, there's something hitting the thing," and he's like sitting there, he's sitting with me, and he's like, "There's nothing hitting the thing." And I'm like, I'm convinced that I'm either fucking paranoid or there's someone trolling me.
I'm crazy.
I'm like, someone has to be a dick and just waiting till I'm asleep. And so I'm just sitting there and I wait, and he doesn't do it, and I put my head down, and I don't go to sleep. I just lay my head down and I turn around so like I can't be seen out the window when I hear it again, and I sit up. And he doesn't do it again. I'm like, this motherfucker is trolling me. And I'm like, fuck this shit. This guy's a fucking douchebag. So I purposely get up. And I go outside, and I go into the outhouse, and I sit in the fucking outhouse, and I wait. I wait for a little bit, and I hear it again. I fucking run out, and I chuck a fucking huge-ass rock right into the fucking woods, and I hear this rustling, and this fucking guy yelling at me. And that was it. I was done. I was like, no, there's somebody out in the fucking woods. I don't know who the fuck it is. They're throwing rocks in my goddamn cabin. I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. I don't know where anybody is. I'm nowhere near my house. I don't have a fucking gun. I'm going the fuck home. And I just fucking immediately was like, I need to go home. I don't feel very good. I need to go back home. And my mom was like, why didn't you come home? Weren't you having fun at summer camp? I was like, yeah, until someone was freaking me out. And she's like, what are you, a fucking pussy? I'm like, no! There's someone throwing rocks in my cabin. She's like, no, you're making that shit up. That's what everybody else said, Mom! Like, why don't you support me on this? And she's like, no. And I'm like, you're the worst mother ever. And I'm like, fuck this shit. And it's just like, I never went to summer camp again. And one of my best friends there was like, he came up to me later on, like after he was on summer camp. He was like, hey, he's like, why did you go home? And I was like, because I wasn't feeling well. It's like, oh, okay, that's weird, because I was like, I was sleeping in the same cabin, and like I kept waking up because I kept hearing things hitting the thing, but I just went back to sleep because I thought it was nothing. I was like, what the fuck? So you heard it too? And he's like, yeah, but I didn't think it was anything. I was like, why? What? You didn't hear me up? And he's like, oh yeah, I heard it. I thought you had to go to the bathroom. I was like, God, what the fuck, man? I was paranoid for like a whole hour while trying to sleep. And he's like, well, I don't know. It didn't bother me. It was just noises. I thought it was the forest. It's like, no, who thinks like that? Who thinks something like you hear like a. And you're like, oh, that must be the forest. The forest what? The forest dick slapping your goddamn cabin? Who does that? No, that's not okay. Like, my paranoia fear is anything that can kill. Like, my fears are anything that's, like, scary, and I am the target of it. Like, I don't like that shit. Like, that's why I don't like Amnesia. Amnesia puts me into
if he can't punch it scares him.
That's what scares me. Like, I don't like ghosts because when people go like...
I absolutely don't like being in the forest, though, at night. Like,
yeah, no.
We don't do camping. We had a cabin out in Tahoe.
I don't do camping.
And when we first got the cabin, it didn't have blinds at all.
Fuck that!
So you'd be walking around the house, and there's all these big windows everywhere on the bottom floor, and all you see out there is black.
Yeah.
And maybe a tree. Whenever the sun went down, I would just not go downstairs.
We used to do that at Tahoe, and they used to have these fucking humongous windows, like right in the living room. They're like a story-wide window, and they would look out into this balcony, but then the balcony looked out into like this forest. And you're like, this is cool, this is beautiful when you wake up in the morning. At night, it looks like a fucking death trap. It looks like you're going to walk outside and someone's going to be waiting for you. Because it's just pitch black, and then all you can see is like half of the deck, and the other half is pitch black. Because there's just
like, you
trees.
can just imagine there's bears outside, and that window is like the window to a restaurant.
No, like, all I imagine is that this window is the only thing keeping me from some guy in the woods killing people anonymously. And like, that's all I'm thinking about. And I'm going to sleep like upstairs. And where I slept upstairs would always be like I would sleep by the ledge, and so I would be forced to look over when I'm sleeping at the ledge, which looked over into the living room, which was directly in front of the window, which faced the scary part. And so I'm laying there, and I'm like, I turn the other way, but the other way is like this weird. It was this weird room that no one slept in because there was something wrong with it, and I didn't know what was wrong with it. The people there were like, just don't sleep in that room, and I was like, that's even more concerning. Like, they won't let us sleep in this room, and so I didn't want to look there because I thought someone died there, and so I was convinced ghosts were in there, and if I looked that way, the ghosts could see me, and I could see them, and so I was like, I don't want to look at that. So I looked the other way, and I'm like, I can't look that way because there's something there I can't see, but it could be looking at me.
So look at the ceiling.
And I couldn't because I'm looking at the ceiling, and I'm like, on either side of me, there's something horrible, and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I think the second night we were there, a bear came up to our window. A fucking bear came up to our window, and I hear this. Here's. Like, what the fuck is that? And that's it. My nightmares just. I just wake up and I just stand up and it's like a fucking chill down my spine. I'm looking around. I'm like, what is that? And I hear. And I'm convinced someone is either in my house, in the cabin, or there was a ghost in the cabin haunting the place, and he's just being a dick and not shutting the fuck up. And I'm like, this needs to stop. And I fucking go into my stepfather's room and I wake him up. I'm like, do you hear that? And he wakes up and he goes like, yeah, I kind of hear that. You need to go back to sleep. Like, no, who does that? And I was like, what is wrong with you? And he goes like, well, I'm a man.
The funny thing is me and Anna keep looking at the doors.
Yeah.
Because your fucking story screaming
yeah,
us out.
And see, my paranoia is true. And so I get up. I have the balls. I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm going to take it like a man then. If he's going to be a dick, and I'm going to show him that I'm going to show a man. I walk downstairs. I have a flashlight. I walk downstairs. I fucking go to the creepy window. And I look out, and I'm like, okay, there's no one there. And so I go over to the next area, which is by the front door. And there's the two windows on the side that you can see what's in. And I put my light up to the window, and I can't see anything. It's just black. I'm like, why can't I see through the window? And that was weird. And so I kind of.
You realized it was the bear?
I realized it was the bear. The fucking bear was at the door. And I turned the light on, and I'm like, that's weird. And so I turn the light off, and I kind of look, and I'm trying to see if I can see like a reflection of anything. And I can't.
Dude,
and I'm like, I
fuck
keep turning
that.
the light.
There's like a bear like less than a foot away.
It was like on the window.
It was on the window. It was sitting,
like literally
right on. It was literally sitting on the door, trying to open the door. It couldn't figure out how to open the door. And I'm looking at this like window, and I'm holding the flashlight, and I see like it move, like it kind of moved, and I'm like, whoa, what was that? And so I go to the door to peek through the door, like the little window on the door.
Yeah.
Fuck
the
this
door
story.
thing, and I look
Little
through it,
peephole?
and I don't see anything, because I don't see anything in front of me, because the bear's below the eye level. And I'm like, what is going on out here? And so I go into the
Was it like a kind of small bear or something?
No, it was a big enough bear.
Or it just wasn't standing up?
No, it wasn't standing up. It was sitting down, so its head was right below the eye viewer.
Yeah.
So I couldn't look
Peephole.
down the peephole, and so I couldn't see it. I could only see it in front of me, and I'm like, where the fuck is? And so I go into.
At least it's a peephole. I'm just automatically envisioning like the.
No, I'm not going to like the fucking window, going like, what is that?
Like I was automatically envisioning the cabin that we had. There were like it has like series of like a crescent like window on top.
No.
So that would freak me the fuck out to look through that and be a bare face.
Yeah. It's like, what's up, bro? So I go to the balcony, and my mind isn't thinking straight. I go to the balcony, and I walk on the side of the balcony going like, oh, I can see what's on the other side. And I look over to the balcony, and all I see is like, it's like one of those kind of moments in an anime where you're like, and the thing, it's like a dot, dot, dot. And like, I'm looking.
Sweat drop.
Yeah, I'm looking over the edge, and I look, and it's a bear. And the bear like looks at me, and it's like, dot, dot, dot. And I'm like, okay,
Zoinks!
Two things went through my mind. One, I need a new pair of pants. Two, I need to get the fuck back inside. And I go back inside, and I fucking close the door, I lock the door, I run upstairs, I tell my stepfather, I'm like, there's a fucking bear outside of the front door. And he looks at me and he goes, you have two options. Either you tell me you're going to go outside right now and kill the bear, and we're going to eat it tomorrow, or you shut the fuck up and go back to sleep. Like, whoa, do you have a gun? And he's like, no, I don't. So go back to sleep.
This is explaining so much to me right now.
And I was like, the whole time I'm sitting there, and now I'm
What
fucking,
a dick! Like seriously, God.
No, I'm screwed.
No wonder you hate orphans.
Yes, because I'm fucked as hell, because I'm looking, now I have a room that I can't look at on the other side. I have this side I don't want to look at because it's so creepy. And now in front of me is a fucking bear trying to get into my cabin.
Oh, and you're on the bottom floor?
No, I'm on the top, but I'm right at the staircase, so if the bear opens the door, it goes right up the staircase and eats me. And I'm like, I'm the most fucked person in the planet right now, because
to be perfectly honest, honey, it would have went into the kitchen and ate
That's
all
when
the
you
food.
close the door and push your bed in front of it.
I was sleeping on the ground. I had to sleep in the hallway because there's no extra beds. I was stuck in
You weren't even sleeping in a room?
No, I was in a hallway. That's why it paranoid me. I was like, I'm fucked.
Oh my God.
I'm the first thing it sees.
You were literally sleeping on top of the staircase?
Yes. I'm like, I'm going to be fucked as hell. And so we wake up the next morning and we look and the doorknob is fucked. Like, it was scratched as hell.
Up and
at night, I fucking look at myself, you motherfucker. If that had gone, you would have fucking killed me. And he said, no, because I would have woken up and I would have taken care of it. And what are you going to do? And he was like, I don't know, but I would have used you in some way to protect myself. I said, well, you know what? Fuck you. We're going home today. And I didn't want to do any more of that shit. I don't like camping. I don't like any of that shit because there's two things that are in the woods. deadly animals that want to kill you and deadly people that want to
You know
kill
what makes that story worse?
What?
That cabin we used to go to that we just kind of stopped a few years ago. Earlier last year, the people that still would go there, when they were gone, a bear actually broke in through the front door.
See, and that's why I don't like to camp anymore. Like, I don't like to camp because because camping, every time I camp, I have a bad experience. Something goes wrong, and I don't like that. Like, I've been attacked by animals before. I've been in tents before where it's like I'm sleeping in a tent. I'm like, oh look, everything's nice. It's like, oh, it's a beautiful night. Everything's camping, and I'm fucking sleeping, and suddenly I hear clawing. I'm like, what is this clawing? And I like look at the side of the tent, and there's like just something on the side. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I kind of swat it away. I'm like, oh, shoo, you nature, get away from me. And I go back to sleep. I'm like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. And I hear it again. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, nature, go the fuck away. I'm sleeping. And so I go back to sleep, and eventually I start hearing like this kind of like ripping sound. I'm like, what is that? And I look over, and there's a fucking there's like a fox, like maybe it was a fox, I don't fucking know, it was dark. Something ripped into my tent, and it stuck its head in, and it was looking at me, and I'm looking at, it was another one of those ... moments. I kind of look, and I'm like, and the thing's just like, and the thing's just sitting there, it's like looking at me, and I'm screaming like, get the fuck out! What are you doing? And I'm like throwing stuff in it, it's just sitting there like, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, and I'm like, I'm not safe right now, and I just immediately run out of the tent, thinking like for some reason the animal can't chase me, like it's and
For some reason,
it's like
if I run away from it, I'm good.
It's like a kindergartner with his head between the bars. It just can't get out. It's stuck.
Yeah.
And so my intention, my first initial thought is, if I run, it can't get me because it's stuck. My second idea that ran through my head as I was running was,
I'm in the fucking forest.
No, the second thing that ran through my head was, holy fuck, what if it isn't stuck, and how fast can it run? And then I realized very quickly it can run fast. And so I'm running for my life, and I look behind me, and there's something chasing me. I don't know what it is. I'm still like,
you still don't. To this day, you don't know what it was.
Because what I ended up doing is
how big was it?
I don't know.
You climbed a tree.
It couldn't climb a tree. That's all I knew.
You climbed a tree.
I climbed a fucking tree.
Climb a tree.
Because all I did was I fucking.
It might have been like a fox or a coyote.
Oh, great! Fox or a coyote. Fox will not kill you. Coyote will fucking maul you to death. That is the two extremes.
But neither of them.
Coyotes don't do that.
But coyotes are scavengers. Same with foxes.
They don't attack things.
Same with foxes. That's probably what I was trying to get into.
Why would it chase me then? What did I do to it?
Maybe you smelled like food.
All I know, I climbed a fucking tree.
Maybe you were really gassy that night. You smell like something dead.
I don't know. I climbed a tree. I looked down.
You want to know something worse?
It was just circling me for a little bit and left. And I sat in the tree and I waited and I called and fucking. I hate my stepfather.
Why do you have so much scary shit in your history?
I don't know. That's why I don't like ghosts and shit. This is why I don't like it, because if I can't punch it and I'm too afraid to punch it,
afraid to punch it.
Because I'm not gonna punch a wild animal. Because I'm gonna punch it, and what's gonna happen is it's gonna be like one of those like good slow motion things where I punch, and it's like and then its mouth just goes over my hand, and then I'm fucked. I'm sitting there like, well, I'm just gonna play dead. I'm gonna pretend like that bit killed me, and I'm gonna play dead, and that's not gonna work because it's gonna eat me. And so I'm like, I don't like that kind of shit. And so camping, I just don't do anymore. I don't do camping.
I have all these times in the past where I've been really fucking scared, but they've never been because something's actually there. Like, and the one time something was there, I was like, oh whatever, because like I knew that we were at the camping place for the geology trip during the fucking Old Republic band I was talking about earlier, and there's fucking raccoons that would raid the camp every night.
The raccoons won't.
Yeah, but like they'd swarm the camp, like a whole like crew of raccoons.
He'd get like an army of raccoons.
They were just raiding the entire campsite. Every single night, anything that people didn't forgot to put away was either gone or all over the camp.
No, I went to
and I had the same thing. Where, like I could hear them sort of like clawing around at my tent because they know how to open zippers.
Yeah, they have opposable little hands.
Yeah, it's like I twisted my zipper around so that it was on the inside of the tent. And I had all the shit on my inside of my tent, so they couldn't. Yeah,
that's smart.
So they couldn't get to any of my shit. But like every now and then we'd be cooking and stuff like that. They'd actually come up to the camp, like just outside like the range of like the most powerful light, and they'd be like, it's like they'd be waiting for us to not pay attention.
What, in the darkness, they just wait till the lights gone.
Yeah, like they'd be waiting for a spot where it seems not to be paying attention, so they could just go grab shit.
And I went to one.
Just wait till they have scissors.
I went to I went to a.
See, that's where we got ahead of them. They don't have opposable thumbs.
Yes, they do. They have little hands.
Oh shit, they do.
I
forgot.
That's why I said wait till they figure out what scissors are.
That's why they can open zippers.
Yeah.
Oh god.
No, but no. Yeah, I went to a family reunion with Laura. You know Laura.
Yeah.
Went to her family reunion once, and we were at a campsite. But yeah, there was raccoons around it all the time. And the thing is, these raccoons were, I guess, so used to people feeding them that they'd come up to you.
Oh, shit.
They'd come up to you,
Rabies
and they'd look at you, and you'd just be like, I want to feed you because you're cute, but then I'm scared at the same time because I know you must have something.
Then like raccoons they're an animal that like they're not. It's not rare for them to attack.
Yeah, they're willing to steal from you.
Yeah, no.
Like they're willing to
but
blame out,
like
cut you in the
they'd
face
actually
and take
come
your
I'm
up
gonna
to
take your children.
But